Hey everyone, welcome back to another riveting episode of the Totally 90s podcast, where two besties like to discuss all things 90s, the best decade on earth. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Steph, and who the hell are you?
I'm Justine.
She is the ever so stunning, ever so glamorous
Aw,
Justine.
stop.
Oh my God, I feel weird calling you by your
I
full,
was
like
gonna say
your
that's
birth
weird.
name.
I'm like, I can't even remember the last time you called me by my name.
I know. That
I'm
felt
like,
that felt
that's
weird.
weird.
Like, don't
Yeah,
you
for
feel weird
real.
calling me Stephanie though? Ew, ew.
Yeah. I know during Steph's wedding, I kept saying Stephanie because, that's your proper name. And I was like, Stephanie and Kara, Stephanie. And you just kept giggling because it was so weird to hear, for you to even say or hear it from Kara or whatever, it's just
Yeah,
strange. Like when you get used to that.
exactly. It's so like foreign to me. It's like, who are you talking? Who are you addressing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
get off me. Like, I am
Yeah.
not Stephanie. Stephanie Elizabeth. Oh my
That is
God.
so funny. Such a very regal name. Stephanie
Well,
Elizabeth.
it just matches the personality, wouldn't you say?
Right? Oh, of course, always. But
I would.
but your name, because you spell it with an F,
Thank you.
like I had clarified in the last episode. Or did we clarify? Was it? I don't know if that was one of the episodes that we erased. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Oh.
but I said Steph with an F, but everybody does, still spell it with a PH sometimes. But your mom
Oh
got
no. That just aired last week.
it
It's
was
yes. So
okay.
everyone's yeah. Uh-huh.
But your mom, how did she name you? Where did she get the F from? Was
She
there a
named me,
significance?
yeah, I'm named after the actress Stephanie Powers. She was on a show in the
That's
80s
it.
called Heart to Heart.
Yes, that's right. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's adorable.
Yeah, and she loved the way she spelled her name, as do I.
Oh,
So, and then I don't know where Elizabeth came from. She said she just liked the name. And I like to say it's after Elizabeth Taylor. So
okay. No, for real. I'm down with that. Hell. Amazing. How are you doing, Steph?
I'm doing great, Neen. It's like a fresh week. I feel like, that feeling when you take like a really good like shower and you do your skincare and then you have a really good cup of coffee. That's the
Yes.
feeling I have right now. Like it's very
Yeah.
anew. It's like,
Right?
oh, look, there's a deer drinking water.
Yes. Oh man, that's amazing. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
See, because there's like different levels too of showers.
Yeah.
There's like they say there's like a mom shower, and then there's
A
I don't know
hooker
what that.
shower.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the real good shower where it's
Oh.
like you clean everything and you shave everything and you just
Mhm.
like,
Lather up.
yes, I love those showers.
So do
And that's true.
I.
That's kind of like a Mondays when you do that kind of shower and you just feel like squeaky clean, hairless, and
Mhm.
just fancy
Shiny.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's exactly how I feel today. And I know that you kind of, because the baby and everything, but besides, oh, actually tell everyone, how are you feeling? And then we'll go from there.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. It's just Presley has a
Yeah.
stomach bug. So, um, yeah, I'm hoping it's not a stomach bug. I'm hoping maybe not that that's any better, but that she just maybe ate something bad and cuz she has a little bit of a
Yeah.
fever, so I'm a bit yeah, just not the way I wanted my Monday to start, but that's okay. At least, next week she is on spring break, so I'm hoping
Woo.
she gets better soon. With her, she never really gets stomach bugs. So, um, yeah, she gets really nervous when she has a stomach thing because she hates, I mean, who likes throwing up? But she like never, I can maybe count on one hand how many times she's thrown up in her life, which is weird because not many kids throw up a lot, and she never, not even as a baby, she didn't throw up. So she just gets like super anxious, and so do
No,
I.
I do too. Man, I swear, pretzel. I relate to that girl so much. And whenever I would throw up, I needed both parents in the room with me to watch me throw up. My poor parents, like they needed to one
Oh
on either
man.
side. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I love you. And I would throw up. It's like I was dying.
Yeah, they're like, what's going on? You're gonna live.
So it's like the end of the world for me. I hate that feeling right before. So I hope that she feels better. And you know what?
Aw.
Actually, maybe she knows the topic of our show today, because I don't know about you, but whenever I was sick, it was
Mhm.
lit, because
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom would make chicken soup. The 7-Up would be aplenty. There'd be
Yes.
the premium saltine crackers
Mhm.
and a good TV show on
You
the
know it.
screen. Okay,
You
so
know it. Yes,
you
and
want
actually that's exactly what she has on right beside her is the 7 Up and
exactly.
saltines. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Oh, that's elite,
Amazing.
Neen. So, that being said, listeners, can you guess what we're going to talk about, or should I have the lovely Neen? That was a tongue twister. Tell you all. Okay, I'm going to have the lovely Neen tell you all. Neen, what
Oh,
have our
well,
listeners earned today?
drum roll. We are going to talk about what are we going to talk about? I was trying to have the right cue. 90s TV shows, our favorite, and everybody
Oh,
else's. Like, because, like soundtracks, I'm always going to forever until the end of this podcast, I'm forever going to be saying soundtracks were like a thing in the 90s. But TV shows, TV shows
yes.
in the 90s, there's no comparison. I'm
None.
sorry.
None.
No.
Why do you think I still watch the TV shows on repeat? Because I have yet to
Yes,
find a show that can match the quality and the caliber of a good 90s TV show. I mean,
absolutely.
and I can't even pick a favorite. I mean,
Mm-mm.
no, I can't. I have like so many, like I can put them, on 10 fingers.
Hmm.
But do I dare ask do you have a favorite? Do you want to start? And what is it? Because
Wow. It's funny because we've done a couple episodes on
yeah.
certain things that, obviously,
Da-na-na-na,
yes,
da-na-na-na,
correct. That will, tell you guys what our favorites are, if anything. But for sure, we already know Beverly Hills
Yes.
90210 is up there. But when I think of like those shows that I would watch, like when I was sick or whatever, growing up, for me, I would have to say, oh gosh, it's a tough one. Full House. Full House
Yeah.
was a staple for me. And I always looked forward to, oh, we were so blessed with TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Friday nights. I mean, we used to talk about that in school, like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
TGIF. And it was that rundown of like Full House, Family Matters, just the
Step by
10 of us,
step.
remember back in the
They
day was
wouldn't they end it with just the 10 of us? Like, I
yes.
feel like, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
such good shows. So for me, I would have to say Full House is one of my favorites for sure. How about you,
for
Steph?
sure. I mean, definitely Full House, because I loved Danny Tanner. Like,
Hmm.
I'm a daddy's girl. I feel like you're a daddy's girl.
Hmm.
So he would always like he would now as an adult, he makes me cry. Like if I happen
Right.
to catch a show, because he's so sweet. And then there would
Hmm.
always be like the discussion at the end of the episode, like, Deej, sit down, let's talk. And they would end it with a hug and the swell of the audience going, oh.
Yeah,
So
cueing the
like,
music.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like that's always gonna be one of my favorites.
Hmm.
But as I got older, I would have to say one of my all-time, well, no, this is hard. Roseanne
Oh
for
yes.
me. My mom raised me on Roseanne. I mean,
Hmm.
she and I watched it up until, they killed off her character, and I'm still not in agreement with that. And I refuse to watch it without her.
Hmm.
But I just feel like it was so real. That it was a family. It was, I don't want to say low income. I think she would refer to her family as middle class or lower class even, but they were just a working class family.
Right.
There was times where they didn't have enough money to like pay bills, and she would make a joke out of it, like, oh, like
Hmm.
when they turned off the lights in one episode. But I absolutely loved her and Dan. I feel like they were a really solid, like, I'm sorry, wife, husband, parent union for their
Hmm.
kids, and their bratty, like
Yeah.
Becky and and the
It was
tomboy.
it was
Like
a
it was,
true like depiction
yeah.
of families
Yeah.
Even though like maybe we weren't born there, like, it's different depending on where you grew up, but
Hmm.
every family, and I think that was the beauty of that show, is that no
Hmm.
matter where you came from, whether you're rich, poor, whatever, you could relate to the things that they dealt with, especially with
Definitely.
kids.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have kids or whatever, you're going to deal with the same type of issues, or in a marriage too. But they had
Exactly.
that funny spin, that witty spin about it with the comedic flair. And it was
Yeah.
there's something just so unique about Roseanne.
Yeah. I mean, I watch it all the time still. Like I
Hmm.
just, and every Thanksgiving I have to, it's my tradition. And I celebrate two Thanksgivings now. So Canadian Thanksgiving, when I'm making dinner,
Oh, it's
I have to put
amazing.
on Roseanne. And then for again, when it's when it's our Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
So yeah, it's a hug and a lot of laughs. So
Oh, totally. Because
definitely.
it's between the Thanksgiving episodes and their Halloween ones. Those are always my
Yeah.
favorites. And,
Ugh.
and I agree with you. Like, I know that she did some or said some things, did some things, whatever, that maybe weren't the best. But in a lot of ways, I feel like they should have just canceled the show. Because to me, it's just not right. Like, not that it's not right, it just doesn't, it's not the same. Yes, it has the same characters and stuff, but she was the one that made the show.
It's neat. Well, they changed it to the Connors, but
Hmm.
she is the show. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like you're seriously going to continue on. And I just felt like the loyalty wasn't,
Yeah.
they
It
just
wasn't.
dropped her like a hot potato. And which brings me to my other favorite show. Is Sex in the City? It started in the 90s, I believe. 98, I want
Yes,
to
I believe it
say.
did. Exactly.
So Sex in the City, same thing. That's one of my all-time favorite 90s,
Mhm.
2000 show. I love the women who can do it all, can have it all, and they don't need a
Mhm.
man to like, even though Carrie Bradshaw does, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
they're just so powerful and so like glamorous. But like the
Mhm.
same thing when they came back, and it's like that whole you're innocent till you're proven guilty. Well, not really in the eyes of, the public.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Chris Noth was a huge character. The
Mhm.
second some stuff came out, which I find like, okay, a little weird that it came
Yeah.
out right when the show, okay.
A little
But
bit
like,
questionable.
yeah, dropped him like the hot potato. And it's like,
Mhm.
damn, there's just no loyalty in this business. And,
No.
you gotta pay your bills and the
Mhm.
life that you're accustomed to. I get it. And would you really throw away your career for someone else that you're not married to, or it's not your child? Probably not, but it
Right.
left a bad taste in my mouth. Am I going to continue watching it? Hell yeah. I love the
Exactly.
ladies. I
Has the new
do.
season come out?
Not yet. They're still recording, I think.
Oh,
But
wow.
they're trying to salvage it. Like I saw some clips that the actor that plays Aiden, his name escapes me right now, but
Mhm.
he's coming back and he might be an interest for her. I'm sorry, Carrie's character does not deserve Aiden
Mm.
Shaw at all.
No, she doesn't.
She's just so as an adult, as a
Yeah.
crotchety adult, that character pissed. I used to think I related the most because of the way she loves, but
Mhm.
like she's selfish. She's not a good friend. I'm
Mm-mm.
sorry. Like when
No,
people
it's
meet
true.
her, like
Mhm.
the episode where she needed to buy her apartment from Aiden. Well, she
Mhm.
wastes her money on her shoes and whatnot, and then she expects Charlotte to lend her the money. What?
And then, yeah, exactly. You're right. And it's so funny because when you're younger, you don't know what it's like in the real world, or you can't relate to it. So you
Mm-hmm.
think, oh, even because we were like, what, in our 20s or whatever, it's still like, you know, or our teens, it still didn't seem, because you loved her, you get caught up in her whole, like, how she is, how she dresses, she's her hair, her makeup, everything about her, you get caught up in that. So you just think, oh my god, she can do no wrong. And then when you get older, you're like,
She
and
sucks.
the dynamics between her and the others. And I love Kim Cattrall.
Yeah,
I
stunning,
loved
stunning
her, and I
woman.
loved her in Sex in the City. And yeah, there's something about, like, when it shows how when she wasn't in this new remake, there is something missing. You know what I mean? Because she brought that flair to it. I mean, they all bring something. I do as I've gotten older, I feel like I appreciate the other characters more other than Carrie. But she was very selfish. Very and those are things we didn't pick up on earlier.
Oh, for sure. And like, but one thing that I've noticed, you watched the new series, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Charlotte was not always that stupid.
Mm-mm.
They're
She
making her, and
wasn't.
they're playing off of that cute
Mhm.
moment she had in Mexico where she pooped her pants. That was fine one time. Like
Yes.
we'll go ahead and allow that. Maybe she's extra and she brought pudding in her purse. That I
Mhm.
can buy. But like to keep her like falling off of the camel in Dubai,
Right.
and then now she's not that airheaded. Like
No, she's not.
can Kristen Davis like talk to the writers? Like I hate seeing, I feel like she's just the most polished, beautiful woman. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh,
hate seeing
totally.
where her character is going. And don't even get me started on Miranda.
Oh
Don't
God.
even.
I yeah, the Miranda part just kind of irked me. Had nothing to do with where she was going with it, but I don't like how she was with Steve.
Me too, because
That hurts my heart.
oh, me too. That absolutely devastated me because that is a good man. And it's
Oh,
like the way
completely.
she did him dirty, like they should have just called it quits on the bridge then if they were going to take
Mhm.
her. Okay, but people can change, you know,
Mhm.
you evolve every year or
Of
every
course.
5, you know what I mean? So like I
Then I think they should have gone off the basis of that. But I think that society needs to normalize having a strong woman in a household, even if the man doesn't make more than them. And that's
yeah.
okay. Like for so long, and it's crazy to me because I feel like the new season really hones in on that whole woman power thing. And the whole show has, but ever since the beginning, but more so now, especially like having like Sarah Ramirez in there.
Yeah.
And I think with her character, they could have really made it like the whole season. I wish they wouldn't have focused so much on the fact that she got irritated or bothered by the fact that he was not as established as her. He was a little bit more, and I know she came around and she realized she loved him and whatever, but
Mhm.
it was always an issue with her.
Yeah.
And it irritated me because I'm like, he loved her. Like in
Genuinely.
relationships, like, that's what I always tell people. It's like, what, it doesn't matter. But if they love you and that love is genuine, it shouldn't matter. It
Right.
shouldn't matter what he makes versus what you make or how you feel like you're more, whatever. I don't know. That really bothered me. I don't know why. And it really rubbed me the wrong way till I was like super irritated.
No, you're not
Yeah.
alone, Neen. You're not alone. And look at us. See, look, we feel the same way. We're so passionate. We had to take a pause and talk about our gripes with that show. So
Yes, I
again, we
agree.
love the show. We love Sex
Yes,
in the
we
City.
do.
Sex in the City, like that is like it's raining outside. Let me throw it on because
Oh, totally.
I watch it every year. So, okay.
Hmm.
But, okay. My eyebrows are up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm even just real quick on what's her name, Charlotte, also in the
Yeah.
new episode. It irritated me how she was very like, oh my God, that innocent about her daughter. And that's the thing. I was like, okay, like the way they did it, they just kept dragging it on. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah. So, we'll see how this new season unfolds. I mean, I still love the last season. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. I did too.
entertaining, but we'll see what happens.
And I will say, I prefer Carrie Bradshaw, and as an older woman.
Hmm. Oh, for
Um,
sure.
Not in the movies because she pissed me
Hmm.
off in the movies. She was selfish
Hmm.
there. Remember when Big just wanted to sit down at home and
Yes.
we stayed home twice. Bitch, get
Hmm.
out. So,
Exactly.
anyways, or when she would wear the ring when Aiden proposed, she refused to wear it. See, the
Hmm.
woman sucks. But I mean, the Carrie Bradshaw sucks.
Yes.
But I really love how her character evolved as she got older. I
Hmm.
feel like I like her more now. Like,
And
and
definitely.
also seeing her at Big's funeral destroyed me. And like
Oh, yes.
that, all of that, like we're seeing her in a new light.
Hmm.
So I'm
And I
very
think she
hopeful.
realized how immature and how much she didn't appreciate him.
Yeah, which I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and bring it back to Fridays with Neen. Neen, can you drop that wisdom real quick? So the
Yes.
whole like, don't go to bed angry, and
Mm-hmm.
what was the other thing? Like you never know. Like
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
last, like if this will be the last time you see the person, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
perfect example.
Exactly. No, it's true. I mean, and that was the epitome of that first episode, is that she just assumed he would be there when she got back. No. Cuz it could happen at any time. And
Oh,
and
my
she really is dealing with it. And I like the fact that they're showing her grief too, and how she's evolving through that,
yeah,
and dealing with it. But at the same time, there's some weird things about it, but it's cool. We'll see how it unfolds. It's still a good show.
yeah, yeah. Sorry about that tangent, but you know how we do it here. Um, Neen, what's another favorite of yours?
So another one of my favorites growing up was Blossom.
Oh my God, thank you for saying it.
Yes. And it's funny, I almost didn't mention it. And it's just one of those that just everything about that show, whether it was her and how she danced, the way she had her best friend, it kind of reminded me of how we are, or how like your relationship with Annie is,
Yeah.
like it's the true friendship between two girls, how you could just be yourselves, act wacky, and then having that like that older brother. Like I've always wanted brothers,
Yeah.
to where you have like your crushes, and like, Six, didn't she have a crush on one of the brothers, right? On Joe. What was the name? Was his
I
name
think it
Joey?
was on I think it was on Joey. Was
Yeah.
his name Joey
I
in
think
the
it
show? I think
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah, and just everything about how she was. I just loved how she dressed, and how nerdy and weird she was, but also popular, in a sense. Like
She
she was
reminds me
just her
of
own person.
Clarissa.
Yes, big time. Big time.
Yeah.
Her goofy little like, intro and the song.
I can see it
Oh,
now. She's tap dancing
yes,
and
I
doing the
loved it.
ballet. And I really liked Six's sense of style.
Yes.
It totally was the epitome of the times.
Oh,
Like the hat.
completely.
Like I have a
Mhm.
picture where like of me, I would wear those
Yes.
blossom hats,
Uh-huh.
and then
You
the I thought it
I
was
think I
all
remember
that and
that
a bag of
picture.
chips too. I was
Mhm.
like, what?
Okay, for real. No, completely. And you know what I loved is that, what's her name? I don't know how to pronounce her.
Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, I don't she wasn't your normal looking star,
Yeah.
and it just proved that you don't have to be drop dead gorgeous in order to captivate a crowd. Like her personality won people over.
Just like Jennifer Grey and
Mhm.
Dirty Dancing, the same. She was
Definitely.
the starlet of the 80s until, she
Mhm.
wasn't. But Maya
Hmm.
Bialik is so cute. I don't know if you follow her on social media, but she's an
I do.
absolute peach.
She is. She's
Like her
adorable.
hair is all messed up.
Oh
And
yeah.
what I love is that she's a total genius too.
Yes, exactly. Isn't
Like,
she a rocket scientist?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I feel like it's just like I love when they have these little side
Does
amazingness.
Oh, completely. Does she still host Jeopardy, or
I don't
is
think
she
so.
done
I
with
think she's
that?
just chilling. I think no, she's on that show. She was on a show with Leslie Jordan, and then like,
Oh, rest in
yeah,
peace. He was
yeah,
so adorable. But that
yeah.
was that was such a good show. Everything about Blossom, like, and honestly, I'm surprised. I have to show Presley that one, because she's like completely in, like, her favorite television show. Boo boo.
Ba boo boo bee ba bee, yeah.
Oh gosh, gotta whip my whistle. Um, her favorite television show is Full House.
Which
So I'm
you're
pretty
doing it
sure.
right, Neen. You're
Yeah,
doing it. I just want to give you a
thank
big
you.
hug every time you say it because your parenting skills are elite,
Oh, thank you. You
top
know what?
notch.
And it's funny because I asked her, I said, well, what do you like, Fuller House or do you like Full House? Because she's watched both. And she said, honestly, I think Full House, because it gives you it has good lessons in the end. It always, like, shows you what you should do. And I don't know. She's like, I just love how there's a lot more seasons too. I was like, yes, that's important. But, and it's true, because we don't see television shows like that anymore that give kids lessons.
No, we don't. I feel like lots of kids today need the lessons at the end of a show.
That's for damn sure. I agree.
So yeah. And then something cute. So Michelle Tanner, when she was,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, she's so deliciously adorable.
She was.
But remember how much she loved ice cream?
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember how she would pronounce it.
No.
So she called it ice cream.
Oh, how cute.
And to this day, like it just comes out of me like that.
Mhm.
And I've shortened it to Aussie. Well,
Mhm.
guess who said Angel? She's like, she goes, honey, let's go get some Aussie. Like, we don't call it ice
Aw.
cream. But that's if you ever hear us
I
talking
love
about
it.
Aussie, it's
Mhm.
because of Michelle Tanner.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's adorable. Who would have known that Michelle Tanner would have had that effect on someone, you
Oh my
know?
God,
Because her
no.
little voice was adorable.
I loved her. And then she grew up and
Mhm.
we don't really know much I mean, they were huge for little kids, the twins, and now they're just mysterious and I don't know where they are. But like, who I really love the way Candace Cameron and Jodie Sweetin and
Mhm.
como se llama Kimmy Gibbler?
Oh yeah, Andrea. No, that was her name.
No.
Is it was it?
Yeah.
Andrea? Was it Andrea?
Kimmy Gibbler, Andrea. Oh yeah, Andrea something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love how they look.
Oh yeah. They
They
do.
aged amazingly.
They
Like, and
did.
because I always thought they were a couple years older than us, and I think they are, but
Mhm.
damn, they look like they're in their 30s.
Oh yeah, and it just proves, like we've said, 90s babies, something about them, they haven't aged much. Like you really
Yeah.
can't tell how old 90s babies are.
I mean, you kind of can in some of the guys, like
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
rolling into my next favorite show would be Saved by the Bell, and my very first crush ever was Mark Paul Gosselaar. I mean, oh, I get goosebumps
Oh
thinking about
yeah.
him. I just had a thing for that bleached blonde man. Oh, him and Joey McIntyre. Ugh, I
Yeah.
had a
Oh
type.
God.
But like, you look at him today, he's
Yeah.
tired. Now
Yeah.
Mario Lopez looks phenomenal.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I
And the
mean, he doesn't
girls
look like he's aged at all. If you put
at
some curly hair
all.
on him,
Yes.
he would
That at
look just
all.
like AC Slater.
For sure. And then, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she's the typical pretty girl. Like, no
Mhm.
matter what, she's gonna be
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Oh,
I
completely.
love that girl. And then, Elizabeth Berkley looks good too. Now, did she put that gap in her teeth recently? Because
I know, it's gotten worse, right? But that could be like what is it? Degenerative? I can't say that word. Like bone disease, like in your teeth,
okay, because I don't
as time
remember
goes
that in the
on.
show.
No, as time goes on, your teeth, your
Okay.
bone, like gets worse and you
Well,
could
because
cause
some
gapping. So,
some people pay to have that done.
dang,
Like,
really?
so I wasn't sure, but like, regardless, gap or no gap, she still looks really good,
She
you
actually, to me,
know.
looks a little bit better. I mean,
Then
she looked
Tiffany,
really good in the 90s,
oh
Elizabeth
yeah,
Berkley, and then I don't know, something happened. She didn't really look that good. But now she's kind of like owning her age.
campiness,
Yeah, and I like it.
yeah. And also, I really liked her in Showgirls. I thought she was a hoot in a handbasket,
Oh
like she
yeah.
Versace for
Mhm.
Versace,
Yes.
and I just
I forgot
love.
about that. And you
I
know what?
just,
Honestly, she got such bad reviews, but
but it's a cult classic now.
it is, and it's not that bad of a movie, actually.
It's not, except
No.
I didn't understand, I was younger, but like her
Mhm.
sex scenes,
Yeah.
the thrashing
Yeah, they were pretty,
scared me. I
yes,
was like,
big time.
I was a virgin. And I was like, is that how we have to do?
Yeah, it was a bit much. And I could see where yeah, it was somewhat raunchy, right?
Yeah, but
Um,
like scary
yes, definitely. I was like, but it was a good movie though. It had a good, like, I would say it had a good
premise.
storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, because she wanted to she was a dancer, like, you couldn't tell, or like in Middletown nowhere or whatever the
Mhm.
hell. And then she went into like stripping
Mhm.
or showgirlism, and
Mhm.
then she just took off and she became known.
Right.
So like, it's kind of like burlesque, with Christina
Yes,
Aguilera.
exactly. No, for real. I would say, it's kind of like between striptease, the movie Hustlers, and yeah, Moulin Rouge kind of thing. You know, you put all those three together and you get Showgirls.
There you go. I love it. But yeah, but showgirls aside, I just really loved Saved by the Bell. I loved the, can you please do it? So wait, hold on, let me tell. So whenever Zach would like do something stupid with like another, like maybe a female lead, it's typically with female leads, he would ask dumb questions. Like, for example, when him and Lisa Turtle kissed, he had no business kissing her.
No, he
Or
didn't.
when he and Jesse Spano kissed, he had no business kissing her either. He would ask stupid questions. And can you do it, Neen, with the hands? Like they would kiss and then what would happen?
He would be like, did we just? So dramatic and so unnecessary. Like yeah,
no
we did.
Shit. We were there.
Yeah, I'm like, what else did we just do?
Yeah.
Like, come
we
on.
wrote a book. Like,
yeah, where were you, Zach?
Oh my god, that was so
I wrote a book.
Oh my god, it was like so like it was.
Yeah,
just,
it's like, did we just?
Yeah,
and he always had to like
with his fingers.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I don't know, but I mean, Zach Morris really could do no wrong, despite some of his interesting ways of dealing with things. But he was a heartthrob. Oh my gosh,
as hell! Like my god, and him and Kelly. I'm so glad they got married. Like their characters got married because that romance, like he loved her so much, and the prom, and then when she did him dirty with Jeff, remember that?
Ugh. I think my blood pressure just went up when I thought of that, because I forgot about that, and that pissed me off.
When she broke up with him at the prom, and then you hear Slater and Jesse singing Michael Bolton in the background because they were singers.
Cringe. I can't right now.
I'm not even gonna try to sing
about
it.
That.
But do you remember when they started a musical group called Heartthrob or something? Not the girls, not Hot Sunday, but when the whole friend group got together and they sang Friends Forever.
Yes.
Friends
oh my god, that's such a good song though. But how cheesy.
It was the cheesiest, but I loved their costumes. Like,
totally. Yes. And and that was the thing, is like, it was cheesy, but we didn't care. And it wasn't like, even if we were to watch it today, we would still be totally enthralled in it. I should have Presley watch Saved by the Bell.
You should. And I will, if you guys have a DVD player, I'm sure you own it too, but I own all the DVDs. Like you need to.
Yes, I do. Yes, they're somewhere in storage because we don't have a DVD player anymore.
I know, me neither. Oh my, but I refuse to let go of my DVDs.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry. Sad. I have all these shows on DVD.
Oh yeah, paid some good money back then for them,
Seriously. No. And a lot of these shows that we're talking about did come back, like for the sequel or the continuation. Like, so Saved by the Bell, the college years, I actually really enjoyed Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Yeah, I never watched them. I randomly would, stumble upon it, but I never really watched it.
Okay.
It wasn't all of them, right?
Well, eventually, like, so the girls would visit. I don't think Lisa Turtle did, but like, Tiffany Amber Thiessen's character visited and then she stayed. So like those were mine. Like my main people were there. So I was a huge fan of the show. And even of the new people that were added. Like there was like this uppity, like rich girl that Zach really liked, that she liked him, and then Kelly came along. They were like vying for his affections, but thankfully he picked right. But like I really liked that. I can't say the same thing about the 90210 continuations. Like sometimes you just got to let it be.
Yes, like, I agree. Yeah, the new cast, or the new whatever you want to class of Beverly Hills 90210. Yeah, I watched it. I must say I watched it for like 1 or 2 seasons, but I was just like, okay, this sucks. And then of course the recent one that they did.
With Andrea.
I'm telling you that honestly, like I've told you, it could have been good. But the way they went around, why do we have to do it the way they did? Why didn't we just do it to where they picked up and figured out where people ended up?
Exactly.
And they're their same characters. They're not.
I feel like they were making fun of aging. Like it's
completely.
No, like so and so could have been like a divorcee. Another one could have been like just like maybe a Kim Cattrall character of Sex and the City.
Mhm.
Steve could have been on his fourth marriage. Like they could have done so much with it,
Yes.
especially because everybody was on board with the show.
Mhm.
Shannon Doherty was back. Don't waste her
Yes,
time.
exactly. What are the chances of that?
I was like, this could be gold. And
For
they
real, where
screwed
she was like
around.
maybe in like Italy or Paris or something, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, God, there's so many avenues they could have gone down
And
with
and
that.
it kind of fizzled into the night. Like I don't
Yeah,
remember it.
it did. It
I feel
just,
like that was her fault. I feel like it was Gabrielle Cartier-Reese, whatever her heck her name is. I think
right?
she came up with this concept. I'm blaming
Hmm.
her because I blamed Andrea Zuckerman for a lot of things. But one show that actually came back and I think did a good job is another one of my all-time favorites, and that's Will and Grace. So Will and Grace,
Ooh, yes.
it was kind of like they paved the way for like, I don't know if they necessarily, yeah, I want to say they paved the way
Hmm.
for like gay people. Like,
Hmm.
okay, it
Oh,
follows,
completely.
best friend, like a well-to-do lawyer, he's gay, and his wacky best friend who's straight, and they live together and they have like two best friends, another gay guy, and I loved seeing that on TV.
Hmm.
And I feel like it was a totally iconic show, hilarious. Now, I don't know if you watched a lot of Will and Grace, but like her character, okay, again, as an adult,
Hmm.
she pissed me off because she was very selfish when it came to Will. Will was like her best friend. Like, so they met in college, they dated in college,
Hmm.
and then he came out to her right after he proposed to her because he was scared to come out to her, and he just
Uh-huh.
decided to, so that's how their friendship took off.
Hmm.
He was always there for her, and she was always like, whatever, you'll just be there. Like, he dropped a lot of stuff for her. So like I was like, ugh. But it
Right.
was very like, you know, realistic and relatable.
Uh-huh.
And they were on for like, I want to say 8 or 10 seasons. They came back in
Wow.
2017. Now they did it right because they talked a lot about aging. They brought up the fact that, oh God, there's Tinder now, and like they're known as daddies and like all this stuff. Like, I feel like that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to like
Hmm.
apply it to now. And
Wow,
I
it was
loved it.
2017 when they came back?
Yes, they were only
Wow.
on for like a little less than 3 years. It
Oh
ended in
man.
April of 2020. It could have kept going, I think, but like like two of the main characters kind of, there was rumors that they were butting heads.
Mm.
So it unfortunately had to end, but it was so good. I love that it took place in New York City,
Mhm.
like all of our favorites do.
Oh, completely.
And it was
Did
just,
did you like that show in the 90s, or was it
yes.
something that you jumped on later on?
I started watching it in the 90s. And I'm watching it right now as we speak. Like
Aw,
it's my
I love
comfort
it.
show.
And
Like
I've only watched a few episodes. I haven't hopped on that bandwagon yet. I should. I
yeah,
should
I
start from the
recommend it.
beginning.
I think you'd really like it. It's really like it's adorable. And I just found out that the actor that plays Will and the actor that plays Jack,
Hmm.
they're all still friends. They're doing a podcast where they're
Podcast. Yeah,
recapping.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw it
so
last week. I was like,
I
"Aw."
I love it, and I'm here for it, and I love everything that they've done for the gay community. Like, there's just
Oh, totally.
I no notes. This show was done beautifully, beautifully.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree. Because honestly, I've only watched a few episodes, but the ones that I have watched, they're hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
all good. And it's kind of like how Friends was. It was a good cast. Like, because it does take that perfect cast to just really like captivate the audience. And I mean, what was the name of the lead person?
Deborah
The
Messing,
girl? Yeah, she's gorgeous. I just
gorgeous.
loved her hair. That red hair, the curls. She's just so pretty.
And she was prior to that, she was in another show. I don't know if you remember. I bet you do though. Ned and Stacy.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh my gosh. Who is Ned?
Oh God.
I have to look that up because I was like, forgot about that show. Wow.
He was uh, okay, it says Thomas Hayden Church. I don't know who that is. I only
Huh.
knew of her. Like, she really stood out to me.
Okay, yes. Oh my gosh, I remember that show. Holy man. Not that I ever watched it. I don't even know where that came from. Because I was looking at this guy, I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
But that was another 90s show, and it wasn't very, only 2 seasons. So
Right.
um another show of mine that I
Ooh.
loved and it was near and dear to my heart was Sister Sister.
Sister, sister. Oh my
Okay.
God. Jack K.
Oh, to me, she was the star of the show.
Yes, hands
Honestly,
down.
she was hilarious. I've loved her ever since 227. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Oh my God.
She's just it all the way up until now. I just
Yes.
I can't get enough of Jackie.
Girlfriend
I
looks
freaking
good
love it.
too.
She does. She getting better with age, I'm telling you, but
Mhm.
that show was just it was one of those just happy shows, and I can't say like it's something that I would watch right now again, like, but it
Yeah.
was cute and for the time it was so fun. I loved it. And I love those two girls. I love Tia and Tamara.
They're gorgeous.
They
Gorgeous
are.
and gorgeous kids.
Oh, completely.
I
Tell
love
me
that
about it.
show, and I loved Roger, and I
Love
I really
Roger.
I loved their friend group too. So
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yay!
And wasn't their brother on Full House as a
Yeah,
little
little
kid?
Teddy.
Yeah.
He played Teddy and
Uh-huh.
Taj
Taj
Mowry.
Mowry. Yeah.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who is okay? This is random, and maybe I have it wrong. Whose brother had that sex tape with Kim Kardashian? It wasn't their brother.
Brandy.
Brandy's brother.
Ray
Okay.
J had the
Oh,
sex
yeah. And
tape.
she had a show in the 90s, but didn't she?
Yeah, Moesha. Mo to the
Moesha.
E
Yes,
to
that's
the.
right. I forgot about Moesha. Oh my gosh. Oh, stop it. Okay, what was another one of your stuff?
Are you ready? Because I know you're gonna relate.
I'm
The
sure.
Wonder Years.
Oh, what would you do if that's
A tune. Would you stand up and
Ah.
walk out on me? Yes.
Oh,
Oh my God. I
dang.
loved, not loved, love Fred Savage. And I love
Same
his little
here.
brother who
Mm-hmm.
was on Boy Meets World, which is another
Yes.
iconic 90s
Mm.
show with
His
Topanga.
little brother Corey.
Yeah,
He
Corey
was
Matthews.
adorable. Oh, stop it. His little face. You
I
just
know,
gotta
just
pinch
keep
it.
going. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I loved it. But like the
Ugh,
Wonder Years, I'm sorry.
yes.
I love, first of all, it came out in the late 80s, but it ran till the 90s. And I
Mm-hmm.
loved that it was like, it followed a family
Uh-huh.
from the 60s through the 70s.
Hmm.
Like, which you and I have a love for that
Yeah,
time period. So we got
exactly.
to see like the life, like them growing up and like the mom with the perfect pearls cooking a meatloaf and like
Yes.
we got
And
to see their wardrobe and
yeah, and the colors of like I don't
very
know.
sepia-ish,
Yeah, exactly. I was just
little
gonna say it. A lot of sepia going on. Like I just keep thinking of their kitchen.
yeah,
You
yes, and sitting
know?
around the plastic, the table, like
Yes.
I absolutely I loved the brother. I thought it was hilarious. Wayne, I
Uh-huh.
thought it was such a like he was so awful to him, but he was hilarious. I loved Paul Pfeiffer
Oh, Paul
and
is
Winnie
adorable.
Cooper.
Oh, yes, Winnie. Oh my gosh.
We loved Winnie.
It's eerie how much she has not changed.
Yeah.
It's creepy. She's adorable, but I'm like, dang, she has not changed at all. At
Yeah, no,
all.
she was at 90s con as well, and she looks
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, she
But
does.
no, I absolutely loved that show. I think it was only on for 6 seasons, but I loved it. I have this vision of Kevin and Winnie at a dance from far away and they like get together and
Yes,
it's to that
exactly.
song. It's a beautiful like song from the
Hmm.
70s that I love.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You Are Everything by the
Oh,
Stylistics.
oh.
Every time that song comes on, I think about them. And
Mhm.
it's like, oh my God, that love,
Gives me
which
chills.
I feel like it translates into like the Boy Meets World kind of love because
Mhm.
Corey loved Topanga.
Topanga. Yes,
And
exactly.
I saw recently, I forgot that Fred Savage starred on the show as a guest star. He played a college professor.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and he came on to Topanga. Now, this was a really like kind of like uncomfortable but very necessary episode. He came on to her and made her uncomfortable, and he kind of like was aggressive about it. She told Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Corey approaches the teacher, and the teacher's his brother, right? And but
Mm-hmm.
not in the show. And he like there's an altercation, and the teacher has the audacity to bring it to like the school board. And there's this hearing of like Corey might get kicked out of school. This teacher's like, well, I'm the teacher, and la 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 la. It's her word against mine, and who are you going to believe? Well, thankfully, and of course, Mr. Feeney shows up as a character
Oh,
witness.
Mr. Feeney.
And thankfully he gets fired because they're like, no, this is like a pattern. We've heard about you, and I know these kids, and blah, blah, blah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought that was a really good and important show to watch,
Oh
because
yeah, and I forgot
especially,
about that.
yeah, that one kind of stuck with me. I was like,
Yeah,
wow. And
that's
another one, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt,
no.
but another one, because this show is actually, it was better than I gave it credit for. But
Mm-hmm.
remember when he announced that he was going to marry Topanga? Remember his parents? Remember his mom? His
No,
mom didn't have a good reaction to it. And he was basically like, he kind of Prince Harry'd that one real
that's right,
quick.
because they were really young when he wanted to marry
Yes.
her, right?
Yes.
Wow, it's funny. I remember that show because I used to watch it, but for some reason, I don't remember it that clearly.
Yeah, those for whatever reason stick into my head. And it's funny. I'm glad we're talking about it because I just saw a post on Instagram. It was the guy who plays Mr. Feeney's like 96th birthday, and
Mm-hmm.
they had like a reunion with like
Oh, really?
all the kids, Topanga, Corey,
Oh, wow.
uh, who the heck? It wasn't a Lawrence brother, was it? Who played the brother? Hot
Mm,
brother. And
oh,
Ryder Strong was there.
yes, it wasn't a Lawrence brother. I
But
could
he
see his
looked like
face.
him. I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
because of his
Matthew
hair.
Lawrence did
Yes.
did star on the show. What was his Will Friedle? That was his
Yes,
name.
Will Friedle, exactly. Oh
Um,
man.
yeah,
And
but
he did make a cameo?
yes, later on in the college years, he played a roommate. He was
Oh
a roommate,
wow.
and he dated like this random roommate that kind of bugged me. This chick though. I don't know why she was in the reunion. I'm like, who are you?
Mhm.
Go away.
But and that's cool though that they had episodes like that, or things that like stuck in your head. I mean, I know this isn't a 90s show, but I remember when Different Strokes, and it's funny that Tony for some reason always brings it up because it was an episode that really sticks. I don't know if you watched Different Strokes when you were
Yeah,
younger or
growing
not,
up,
but
of
do you
course.
remember the episode of the bicycle man where
No.
his friend, I can't remember the name of his friend, his best friend, they go to a bicycle shop, and um basically Arnold he's like a predator. And it was one of the first episodes where they have like a trigger warning from that day, like this episode, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's nice to see because it's things that you don't really think of. Nice to see how these episodes. Can you guys hear me? Am I coming in a
Yeah.
little choppy? Sorry, my
No, wait, I hear like maybe your cord.
yeah, that stupid cord needs to be fixed. But anyways, but it's nice to see how in the 90s, like, or even in the 80s, there was things
Right.
where and that's what I mean about these shows is they gave lessons. They gave little kids ideas like in Boy Meets World, how it's like that's not okay to treat a woman like that or be aggressive like that. And just like with this, like I don't know. I mean, maybe because I'm just so out of touch with shows nowadays, I don't see lessons at all.
You're not out of touch, Neen. That's kind of why I gave up on cable, because it's like I don't
Right, same
see
here.
the type of quality show that we had. Like, you know how you were talking about just now a second ago, sorry. You were talking about this. So, but you know how you just said, okay. But remember the show Good Times? Janet
Mhm,
Jackson was on. Do you remember
mhm.
that episode where like they discussed child abuse where she was
Yes.
beaten? Remember the iron scene?
Yes,
That
exactly. How
never leaves my head.
I'm telling you, it's so traumatizing. But in a way, like I feel, and you know what it is I feel like nowadays we tend to be, it's just the culture. Not saying that anything's wrong with like this generation, whatever, but some things are good for the human race to see, even little kids, like as those things are ingrained in us. You know what I mean? Like things that we saw, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that would happen, you know? Nowadays, like we shelter our kids from so much
Yeah.
that it's like you can't expect kids to live in La La Land. They have to know that there's evil out there and how to protect themselves. And that was the beauty of these shows that, yes, it was sad and it's horrible, but these things can happen. And this is what you do if it happens. You go and tell an adult, even if they tell you
Yes.
these things that you shouldn't,
Yes.
and they don't do that anymore. And it's because some parents are going to get upset or
E-
whatever.
Everyone gets upset nowadays. There's
Mhm.
something's always pissing someone else off, and it's like, okay.
Mhm.
But at least a lot of these shows are coming on, Netflix, Hulu, you can find
Yes,
them. They're,
I
so
agree.
and look at you, like you introduced Full House to your daughter. That's like
Mhm.
amazing. And she's gonna have all these lifelong lessons from a really good show that you don't have.
Mhm.
You could put on that show and walk away because you know that you don't have to like worry about anything seedy coming out of it.
Exactly, because that was the beauty of it too, is that the sexual stuff, because that's one thing with Friends. I will say Presley watches Friends, but
Mhm.
there's so many sexual jokes and scenes where it's just like she's still young where she really doesn't know, but at the same time I will say some of the things she brings up and she asks, at least it opens a dialogue, and she's old enough I feel to where she can ask some things. If I'm watching something with her and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, we'll just change it, right?
Mhm.
But back in the day, we didn't really have to worry about that with
No.
shows because
Mm-mm.
they were monitoring those things, but they did it in a right way to where if they did talk about something like that, a kid young wouldn't really pick up on it. Nowadays it's just like all out there. I'm just like,
Mhm.
okay, I can't. But a show that I liked, and dang it, you know what? I'm mad now. It's not maybe because I watched it in the 90s. The
What?
Boss, but that was an 80s show, so we'll just
Oh
move
my
on.
God.
I'm so
Remember the
annoyed.
song? Okay, well, yeah. Okay, but who's the boss? What was
It
her
was
name?
amazing.
Sam?
Yes, I just loved Alyssa Milano. She just made my day all the time. I mean, who knows? Maybe it went into the 90s. I don't know because it had 8 seasons. So, and it started in 1984. So, hopefully maybe it did go into the early 90s. But that being said, another show that I loved was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Ah, that was my next one.
Mhm.
Exactly. Genius, right?
Mhm. Oh,
Oh,
everything from the theme song to just I just loved it. I just wanted to live in their house, and I thought he was so lucky to have like family like that.
no, I love his sense of humor. I love how he would randomly, okay, like one of the scenes, two scenes are gonna, no, three. The scene where he gets Ashley drums
Mhm.
and Jazzy Jeff is playing, and then
Yes.
Fresh Prince is like, oh, what he's
Yes.
singing like a random song and starts dancing like crazy.
Yes.
And
Oh
then,
my god.
or like when she was jamming in her room to her Walkman and she's
Mhm.
like dancing and he comes in and he's
Yes.
like watching her and he starts
Uh-huh.
dancing with her. Or when Aunt Viv goes to that dance class and she does that awesome routine
Oh
in the
my god, I
face of
forgot
those
about that.
young girls, that, and then she
Yes.
goes, when she's
Mhm.
done.
I loved Aunt Viv, and I wish that things didn't go the way they did, and I wish they would
Yeah.
have kept her the whole time.
Also, why were they trying to act like the other one was Aunt Viv?
I know, exactly, because there's no comparison.
Like,
Who was she? Where and
I,
it's like one minute she was there, and the next minute she was, who's this lady?
oh my God, that was like, you really think the viewers are stupid, don't you?
I know, it's so dumb. I swear. And between him and Carlton,
Oh,
Carlton just, if he was like, he's like my spirit animal. Like,
yeah.
he's exactly the kind of person that I would be back. You know what I mean? Like his dances, how goofy he is, but at the same time, very pompous because of, but he's
Yeah.
so funny. He's just
Mem-
like,
yeah.
I
Do
loved
you
him.
remember Oprah? Remember when
Was
they
she
went to
on
the
the show?
Oprah? No, no, no.
Oh,
They pretended they were on the Oprah show, so they're like eating at Kraft's
oh
table.
yes.
And then the
Uh-huh.
song comes on, dun, 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 and then he starts he
Uh-huh.
starts dancing around. I just love the little
Oh,
side things, like not the
yes,
main
completely.
script, but the side moment.
Oh, completely. And you know what I loved about that show is that it showed to me, I feel Will Smith is a phenomenal actor and he's had
Yes.
some really good movies, but honestly, I feel like this is his thing. Like he
Mhm.
did so good on Fresh Prince that I feel like this is the type of shows that he should have. Like I
Mhm.
feel like this is his, I don't know, his niche.
Mhm.
Because I don't know. I mean, poor thing's going through things right now, but back in the day, I mean, you couldn't stop him.
He is handsome, witty,
Hmm.
hilarious. His sense of
Hmm.
humor is not like your typical, like he's just funny. Like he can
Yeah,
make anyone laugh. And what I love about him, and I feel like he was interviewed on some show, is he proved that you don't have to be a rapper or you don't have to cuss in order to be a
right.
rapper or a musician. He
Hmm.
never ever like was trying to like cuss or anything in his music, which I loved his music. Like who doesn't love getting jiggy with it?
Right? Yes, or
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Miami. Hello.
Oh, bienvenido a
Oh my
Miami.
God.
We're
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
singing a song.
Oh
Okay,
gosh.
like Men in Black. What?
Yes.
Who didn't walk with him at that part?
Right? Exactly.
Little
Yeah, I feel
alien.
like sitcoms and music are
Yeah.
his jam. He
Yeah, he's
just
amazing.
I mean, he's a great actor. I don't know. It just Fresh Prince for me was just a feel good
Timeless.
show. Yeah,
Timeless. I
completely.
absolutely 100%. And I feel like anyone could turn on any of these shows really.
Hmm.
And today and just laugh their asses off. And Fresh Prince would be right up at the top, I
Oh
think,
yeah,
in terms of
hands
humor.
down, for sure. Another one for me, do you remember, and this is like just a quick excerpt, is that how you say that word? Excerpt, whatever.
Interlude.
Yes, Step by Step. Do you remember that?
Duh.
Oh,
Do you have to ask?
I know, I know.
Suzanne Summers?
I know. I just love that show. I don't
I
know if
loved
it
her
had a
hair in it.
yes, and I just love the scene of where they were. I don't know, something about that set just really just made me feel like all warm and cozy. I don't know if it was the roller coaster in the beginning of the intro. I don't know what it was, but something about it. It was just so I don't know. I just love that show.
I love it because it was like it was a current Brady Bunch,
Mhm.
you
Oh
know?
yeah. Yes,
The
exactly.
molding of the families and
Yes. The bad
there's some
attitudes of the kids not liking the
exactly
other ones. Yeah.
exactly but then it was just like at the end of the day they were family and just like the Brady
Mhm.
Bunch like I loved that because it was the Brady Bunch of today or then and I feel like they had something special there that they maybe
Mhm.
could bring to today if they
Yeah,
were smart, but whatever.
I agree.
But no, that was an excellent show. But one of my all-time favorites too,
Mhm.
Living Single.
Yes, that's on
Living
my list.
Single was uh, I just first of all, Queen Latifah, I mean, the woman's just gorgeous,
Yes.
brilliant. Her voice could melt ice cream in like 10
Mhm.
seconds flat. She hilarious, hilarious. I
Yes.
love the way she would. I just loved how she would command a room without even
Yeah.
having to try that hard. I love the dynamic of the four best friends. I
Mhm.
loved Max. She was my favorite character, the loud lawyer.
Mhm.
And she was just hilarious. Like there's some scenes that I have to play for Angel, and Angel doesn't even have the context of the show, and she'll just watch it
Uh-huh.
and die
Uh-huh.
laughing. Like, for example, Regine,
Mhm.
she's like the cute little she was on what was that show? Facts of Life
Facts of Life,
as
yeah.
Tootie. But like
Mhm.
she was like this a glamorous roommate of Sinclair and Khadijah.
Mhm.
So she comes in and the other girls are sitting there watching TV. She comes in wearing like this African outfit.
I remember that.
No one says anything to her.
Uh-huh.
And then Queen Latifah, Khadijah, starts chanting.
Mhm.
And then so does Sinclair. She chimes in like
Mhm.
no no no.
Right.
And then Max like she makes like a bird noise in the background. So like now you're in the jungle. And that's all it is. That's all
Oh
it
my
is for like a
god.
minute. It is like so funny. And like that you
It
have the
is.
guys across the hall and
Yes.
they're the best friends. And it's,
Mhm.
basically gave the idea of Friends to the creators of Friends, because it was
Mhm.
literally like a mirror
Yeah.
image of the show, because the girls in one apartment, the guys in the other, one is kind of goofy,
Mhm.
just like Joey, and the other one's well-to-do, just like Chandler. And then you
Mhm.
have the loopy Phoebe, who's Sinclair, and then you have the ritzy one who's like Rachel, and then the one that has her head on her shoulders, that's freaking Khadijah. It's like,
Right.
come on.
Exactly. That's true. And it's funny, I didn't even notice that. And I didn't even know that really until you had pointed it out. And I looked into it and I was like, wow, that really, it's insane. I mean, when you look at how many seasons of Living Single, what was it, like 4, 5, I think it was?
Mhm.
Um, and it was freaking hilarious. And I loved that show. I loved Sinclair. Something about Sinclair just made me so, she was so adorable and very innocent as I go into the 90s right now with my mic
You're
and a
adorable.
teleport. Um, but when you look at the similarities between that and Friends, even
Right.
even one of the photos that they did, Friends, and one of the that Living Single did, where they're wearing like
White
overall,
t-shirts.
yeah, they're like overalls, and it reminds me of it was like the color scheme of Friends. Some of it, yes, white t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
with the jeans, someone's wearing overalls and like the flannel around their waist.
Yeah.
Very Monica or Rachel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of
No. And look how long Friends lasted. Well, let me ask you this. Who's your favorite character from Friends?
ooh, Phoebe,
Okay. Who's your favorite character from Living Single?
Sinclair.
Okay. So like exactly mirror
Mhm.
opposite, like I'm not
Yeah.
opposites, spitting images of one another. It's
Yeah.
insane. And
Exactly.
it just, they really got the short end of the stick. Like
Mhm.
these girls, like they could
They
have gone
did.
so much further. They could have gone 10 seasons too,
Oh, of
had they had the
course.
same kind of, you know, they an interview I saw was like, because they did discuss race.
Mhm.
I don't have the interview in front of me, so I don't want to quote it, but that was one of the issues they brought to light,
Mhm.
as to why maybe Friends was more widely received. And I find that gross. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, really, is
completely.
that what that is? I just feel like if anyone were to toss on an episode of Living Single without even knowing like the premise of it, I think they would just be like, oh my God, this is gold. What happened? Like the
Mhm.
fact that they're all living in New York,
Yeah, exactly.
like pick a
Right?
different city.
Of course.
I mean, but again, I loved Friends. I
Mhm.
love Friends. I love
Yeah.
the actors on the show, every single one of them. I think my favorite's Monica because I relate to her so hard.
Mhm.
Um, and I just, I didn't really like the first 4 seasons because I thought the humor was forced.
Mhm.
But as it got on with the seasons, like they got funnier. Like,
Oh,
I'm
they did.
sorry. When they're singing Baby Got Back to the Baby, I'm
Mhm.
cackling. Or when Freddie Prinze Jr. came on as the Manny and he's
Mhm.
crying every 5 minutes, and Ross
Mhm.
is like, he was like the most sensitive guy
No,
on earth.
yeah, no, the middle portion of the seasons for me were like the epitome of the show because it was like you said, the got back episode, but the ones where like Ross goes to the tanning booth, or I mean,
He wasn't that stupid. This
I
man was a
know.
paleontologist. Or when he whitened
Exactly.
his teeth, yes, yes, I cackle. But like or when he wore the woman's shirt on a date,
Oh
when
yeah,
Rachel took him
exactly.
shopping,
Hmm.
he wouldn't be that dumb.
Exactly. No, he wouldn't.
It's freaking Kristen Davis all over again. It's like this man is a PhD. Like he's not
Hmm.
gonna do this, but okay.
Exactly. Yes. No, for real. Or he wouldn't trip off a sandwich.
No, he wouldn't.
You
I would.
know,
I felt his pain. I was like, don't mess with my Thanksgiving
Joey would
leftover.
have, but not Ross,
Exactly.
but
Yeah,
it
like
was,
when Joey doesn't share food.
yes.
Okay, the concept was hilarious, but when he kept yelling that, it's like, calm down.
Yeah, my favorite is when they're getting ready for
Ross's dinner.
Ross's, yeah. And I don't know, something about that episode, I laugh hysterically.
It's one of their
Especially,
best ones.
yeah, when no, Phoebe comes out and she's like, "What takes out hummus?" No, I got hummus, and then
What takes out
yes.
hummus? What takes out hummus?
But
Ross.
she's, yes, I can't. And it's just the way she is, and she's just so hilarious. I mean,
When
I
she
just
puts on the Christmas corsage to cover it up.
yes, and when she comes out and Chandler's face is like,
That
oh God.
I think what's awesome about that episode. Oh no, I know when Monica kept calling Richard and logging onto his voicemail.
Yes.
Like it's just that's so her. Like that's a
Uh-huh.
good episode. Like
It is.
I don't even I don't even know if I can pick a favorite because they're just all so funny. And I
Oh
love
yeah.
Rachel's hair in that
Oh,
episode
oh yes. Or when like Danny DeVito came and
as
he
the
was the
stripper.
stripper. That's Presley's favorite episode. That's probably so inappropriate. But she's like, but it's so funny. Like there's but for me, I just didn't like the way it ended. I personally wasn't happy with it. Um, the characters in the last season, I don't know. I just wasn't flowing with the last season very
Did
much.
you
It
feel
was
like as if it was rushed?
it was, and I didn't like how Monica's face was changing. I'm just gonna
Mm,
put it out there. I feel like Courtney Cox is absolutely stunning. She was beautiful all the way, from what was that, Ace Ventura, all the way to Scream, and then Friends, beautiful. And then all of a sudden she has like these lip fillers and all this stuff. And I'm all for stuff. If you want to do that stuff, that's on your time. But I don't know. She looked different in the last episodes, and the characters were just, I don't know. I just didn't like how they ended it. I didn't like the chase between Ross and Rachel, and how it was obvious to me that Ross really loved her, and
yeah.
Rachel was always I don't know. Now that I'm older, I just don't like Rachel. I just think she's a
Wow.
mean person to Ross because they were okay. Question: were they on a break or were they not?
I think they were on a break, but like the fact that she like went over okay, she went over the next day and she realized she made a mistake. I can as you know, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that, but I can be like, you jumped to your
Yeah.
guns, to conclusions and you did that. I think that was a total douche move of him to just go ahead and hook up with a new girl the night that
Mm-hmm.
the woman he loves
Mm-hmm.
broke up with him. Like you
Completely.
don't do that the same night. Like
Mm-hmm.
how is there any hope if you guys ever getting back together? So no, they
Right.
were totally on a break.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Do you think it should have resulted in them being not together? Or do you think
Um
they should have tried?
no, I think the trust was gone for her character. I think like
Mm-hmm.
she probably because she even said it. She's like, all I can do is I'll never be able to not picture you with that woman. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everything is broken. Her tearful speech that she gives him
Oh, I
when
know.
he
That was
begs for
epic.
forgiveness
Where they're all
is
in the other
like,
room.
yeah,
Ugh.
like that her that was perfectly said.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no,
No.
I think I don't like how they had the people pick sides. Like she kind of like was,
Mm-hmm.
but she, I think she earned that right. Like the way he did
Oh,
her
completely.
dirty.
We all would be that way. Like,
Yeah,
the pettiness with it, right?
yeah.
But I feel like I just didn't like how they dragged it on. I felt like it went on for a long time and Ross, I don't know, it was just a mistake. And I really didn't feel like she should have had some empathy when it came to the fact that he was just jealous of what's his name.
Yes,
When
Mark.
it did, yeah, and because I'm sorry, Mark, I did not like Mark.
I
That's all
didn't
I gotta
either.
say. He knew what he was doing, and she, it was a new relationship. He just wanted to be a part of her life, and I just think that it just made me sad. Now that when I watch those episodes, I'm like, just like,
I change them. I don't watch them.
yeah,
I don't like it. It makes me sad. And
mm-hmm,
yeah, because I mean, everyone wants Ross and Rachel to be end game. Now,
yeah,
where I don't agree is at the beginning of the relationship. Now, the list that he wrote was fucked up.
completely.
Okay. Like I can't imagine finding a list like that. So I understand her like hurt.
Mm-hmm,
But when he was like, read the last line, she's not Rachel.
mm-hmm.
It was a typo. That says Rachel.
Exactly. And she's like,
And
Rachel.
yeah, who's Rachel? But like also Julie was good to him.
Yeah, she was.
He left a good woman for Rachel and then she just walks away. That
Mm-hmm.
pisses me off. I don't like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
and then she ignores him and then only until she sees the prom video Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just like, but again, look, we're sitting here talking about it. It clearly
Mhm.
affected us.
Oh, completely. Because don't even get me started on that other girl from England,
Oh, Emily.
Emily.
Yeah,
I won't even go there because she irritates the crap out of me.
me too. But wouldn't we turn into Emily's if we decided to give the marriage a shot?
Oh, completely.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
that's all.
I get, maybe if it was another girl, I'd be okay with it. But something about her, I just didn't like her. She just didn't fit for me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But bottom line, it's a good show and it's one of the most, you know, amazing shows of our lifetime
Hands
because
down, we'll never forget these characters
no, completely.
ever.
No, I mean, and
I
there's so many other shows that
no.
we can.
I mean, again, we say this all the time. We'll be here all the day, but what we can do is give honorable mentions, like Family
Mhm.
Matters for sure.
Yes. My so-called
Steve
life.
Urkel. Oh, praise. Throw the hands in the air.
Yes.
Martin.
Martin. Oh, yes.
Now, one show that won't be getting an honorable mention from me is Seinfeld. I cannot stand that show or
Yeah.
Frasier.
Me neither. I'm boring. And you know what? They are one of those cult classics. But for me, I just was not down with them at all. Did you like Dharma and Greg?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
no. I Third Rock
Ah,
from the Sun. I didn't like. It was
yeah, me
on, and I would
neither.
just leave it on in the background.
Hmm.
Married with Children, definitely. I don't think it should be given an
Yes.
honorable mention. I think it was definitely an iconic show. Peg
Hmm.
Bundy.
Hmm.
Hello. And then
Yes.
what was Christina Applegate's name in the show?
Kelly.
Thank you. And then
Hmm.
that's where, remember where the little brother gave himself a hickey with the vacuum? Like, who would have
Yes.
thought?
Yeah,
That's
for real, because I
genius.
learned that from him.
Yeah, me too. And then, of course, the
Oh,
nanny. I mean,
yes.
Fran Drescher is an icon. Her clothing, her makeup, the way she would walk around, and then she ended up getting Mr. Sheffield. Like
Yes, which I
that's
love.
me
But
too.
she was gorgeous. When I look at
Still
these
is.
episodes now, I'm like, dang, her makeup, everything about her was spot on. She was just beautiful. How about Sabrina Teenage, what is it?
Yes,
The
Sabrina
Teenage
the Teenage
Witch?
Witch.
Uh,
Yep, I love Melissa Joan Hart. I mean, obviously
yeah.
Clarissa explains it all. And then
Mhm.
we need to do a separate episode on Nickelodeon shows of the
Nickelodeon.
90s because we got Salute Your Shorts, we got Hey Dude, we got Are
Mhm.
You Afraid of the Freaking
I
Dark,
was
which I
just gonna say, are
still
you gonna, I
love.
was just gonna say that
Snick
exactly. Oh,
and yeah,
so much.
all
I
of
mean,
that. So
gosh. I
that's
mean,
an
and
hour.
like I said in the beginning, TV was just epic in the 90s and it was the birth of many things, like one of our other episodes that we have about reality TV, where, the real world and survive, like all these things were created in the 90s. And what a time to be alive,
Yeah.
you know?
For sure. For sure. No, and thankfully we can relive this on YouTube and Hulu and Netflix.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, if we missed one of your shows, let us know what it was so we could watch it or be like, I'm so sorry that we missed that because that's
Yeah, because
classic.
there's a lot of ones that we didn't even mention, like
I
Charmed,
mean,
Angel, Buffy the
Buffy,
Vampires. Yeah, Goosebumps. That was
Alias.
Alias. Oh my gosh, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Law and Order, wasn't that in the 90s?
Yeah, Law and Order.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's just so
Dang.
many. And it's like, and a lot of them have stood the test of time and are continuing on into 2023. So,
Yes, and you know what a good show would be, Steph, and I'm just going to put it out there, is talk shows.
oh, yeah, there's so many,
Oh,
especially one that I want to cover in the true crime one. So yeah, I mean,
right, because
there's,
please bring back some Ricky Lake.
can you please? I
Uh-huh.
love Ricky Lake.
Same
I
here.
love her. I
I loved
love
her
her.
vibe.
And I
Yeah.
love Maury and I love Jerry
Yes,
Springer and I
Jerry
love
Springer.
Oprah and Ellen,
Oh,
Rosie,
okay.
freaking Geraldo Rivera,
Man, what a
Sally
classic.
Jesse Raphael.
Jenny Jones. Oh,
Uh-huh. All of them.
yes. So stay tuned because we have more in our pockets.
Yeah, because I definitely want a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so many. I mean, there's just so many to count. We'll probably definitely be revisiting this episode.
Awesome. That was so much fun.
It was. I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna go
watch some
watch.
shows right now. Oh, that's
For
great. No.
real.
Yeah, but yeah, check us out on our Instagram and let us know what your favorites were because I'm sure there's tons that we didn't even cover or not even thinking of at this point because there was just so many.
So many. So if we did forget something that was like amazing and huge, this is why there's too
Yes.
many. But thank you so much for listening. And like Neen says, leave us a comment on our Instagram. And if you're not following us on Instagram, what are you doing? Follow us on
Right?
Instagram, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you for the support and thank you for listening and thank you for the amazing
Always.
feedback. And we
Yes.
love you. I love my beautiful bestie because I get to see
Aw,
her beautiful face weekly.
likewise.
And yeah, without anything further, Neen, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Sounds good. Peace out, buddies.